Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and guess what was just announced in Modern Masters 3? Oh yes, hit the track. Oh yeah, you know what time it is, everybody. That's right, it's time to drop the hottest track ever to be released out of Germany.
Ich bin Schnappi, das kleine Krokodil.
And that's about all I can play without getting copyright flagged, but that's right, it's Schnappi, das kleine Kastermage. By the way, if you haven't met the German version of me, basically on YouTube, Value Hunter. Okay, look that up. No joke, he is basically German Desolator. I love him, he's awesome. Also, he's the first YouTuber I ever did a collab with. More fun German trivia for your next Applebee's trivia night. That song, Ich bin Schnappi, or whatever the hell it's called, no joke, #1 on the Billboard charts over in Germany, or whatever they call the Billboard charts over there. I mean, yes, this is like 10 years ago, and that's like OG internet memery, but, you know, that's me. So yeah, Snapcaster Mage was in fact the artwork on the box as everybody suspected. Kind of weird that you could just look at an artwork and be like, yeah, that looks like a Snapcaster Mage out of like literally every card printed since 8th edition. But, well, it was in drastic need of a reprint, so yeah. So do I agree with them adding it? Yes, of course. Mythic rarity? No. I mean, not at its current price. I mean, maybe this is one of the ones where they just said, okay, if it was at rare, we're going to, I believe, precisely double the supply. I think that's the way the math would work, compared to if it was at Mythic. So let's keep it real, because, I mean, snaps are, what, like $80 right now or something just outrageous, or at least they were. I don't know if right now would be the right term. Last week maybe would be more accurate. But, yeah, they were getting up there. So if they printed it at rare, it could legitimately hit like $20. I mean, it's not in like every deck. It's still kind of like a specific card. I mean, some people are saying who wouldn't want to spell out of the graveyard. Yeah, but modern decks are tight. They do one thing. It's not just, oh, I'm going to throw it in there because it's nice. That's Commander you're thinking of. So they're not really making the card more accessible. I mean, I don't think it's really going to drop much below even 40, I'd say. I mean, without even looking at pre-order prices right now. I mean, certainly not like 20. I mean, there's no way in hell it's going below 20 at a Mythic. I mean, they're printing a hell of a lot of this, so maybe, like, but it would have to crash the whole rest of the set. I think this card specifically would not go down exceptionally low. So that kind of sucks, but I mean, at least we're seeing more of it and the artwork looks cool, so whatever. I mean, it doesn't really go in any of my decks, so I don't care. You know what's funny is actually, now that I say that, I think it would actually work in Beholder Alpha, except I would need double the mana, so it kind of wouldn't work. So sorry, Schnappi, you're not going to end up in mine deck. Now, I'm not going through every single spoiler here because there's some I don't know about or care about, but the ones that stood out the most to me because they released a lot. And let's talk about that for a second. They just like dumped all the lands. I mean, it was what, like 35 plus 3 plus 2 more cards or something like that on us in one day. And then boom, like 40 more or something. I didn't count them, but it's a lot. That is how I wish they did spoilers for everything. None of this, we're going to release 2 cards every 3 days. Oh my god, does that piss me off. And the last time I asked pretty much everybody I know, it pisses everybody off. So anyway, Snap is an example of a good use of the Mythic slot. Guess where we're going next? Bonfire of the Damned. This card is just not very good. I would say that about a lot of Miracle cards, which, by the way, I've been saying they need to bring back Miracle for the longest time. I'm famous for, you know, what everybody nicknames Miracle pulls at FNM. It's where you're like, oh my god, I'm going to lose if I don't pull something, and then I just top deck like Deck in Stone and get rid of like 9 of their servos and then win the game because of it. Yeah, that's a Miracle pull. So you might as well literally make it a Miracle pull where you may cast this card for its Miracle cost when you draw it, if it's the first card you draw this turn. So I believe with this card that would bypass sorcery. You have to immediately cast it like during your draw step, basically, I guess. I don't know, I didn't really play when Miracle was big, so somebody, if you'd love to explain that. And plus you, like, the second it touches the rest of the cards in your hand, you can no longer prove it was the first card you drew, and so any judge at a proper tournament would immediately disqualify it and say, nope, 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 nope. You let that touch the rest of your cards. Who knows if you're a really good card magician, you just swap the order and now you're saying that this was the card. Anyway, okay, this is double X and red and it's a sorcery. It's in Modern, it's complete garbage. Casting it for 3, I mean, it's just terrible. There are like 100 better cards than that. Casting it for 5, you probably don't have 5 mana in red in Modern. I mean, come on. Even if you did, the really important stuff is usually kind of oriented to get around lightning bolts, if possible. So I feel like 2 damage ain't gonna do it, and if they generate an infinite token combo or something like that, you can't kill it as an instant because this is a sorcery. The funny thing is, if you have a way to force yourself to draw a card on their turn, I believe you can cast this as an instant, but not 100% sure. Anyway, the miracle cost is red and then single X. That's huge, because if you were to feed like 4 mana into that, boom, 3 across the field, doesn't touch you, fantastic card. But it's not like anybody playing Burn plays this, and honestly, I would have preferred to see like Burn at the Stake, even at Mythic. I just love that card. Now that said, I think this card used to be like $5 or something like that, or a little bit higher. I think people would pretty much just play it in Commander. I don't know, it's about $2.50 now, so kind of a dummy Mythic. I mean, maybe the foil will be worth a little bit, I don't know. I just don't like most red spells. They're either repetitive or boring, although there are a couple really cool ones out there. So let's take a look at another Mythic. Temporal Mastery, cost 7, take an extra turn, ta-da. Its miracle cost is 2. 2! Oh my god, who wouldn't pay that? So as soon as you top deck this, it's like, oh yeah. So yeah, if you're drafting Modern Masters and you're playing blue, there you go. I mean, this is definitely a first keep because an extra turn is hilarious. Well, plus in draft, you might get to 7. I mean, reasonably, you never know. You kind of wasted that entire turn casting the stupid spell, so there's that. But hey, I mean, you know, watching somebody just freak out when they top deck a miracle card, it's like the best thing ever. And here's the thing that confuses me. These cards are extremely expensive. This is only from Avacyn Restored, so it's not like, you know, ridiculously expensive set. But they were like flirting with like $13-14 a piece even before. I have a feeling this goes into something where people like purposely scry it to the top of their deck with massive scry effects, and then, I don't know, maybe loop it or duplicate it, or I don't know. I mean, you could do it with Mirror Pool, I guess. Hey, it's blue and it's extra turn and it's miracle. I like it. I don't care. Now that I found out it's moderately worthwhile, cool. Next up, Primal Command. You guys remember Cryptic Command from the last Modern Masters. I think it was in Modern Masters 1 too, if I'm not mistaken, but I wasn't even playing when that came out. I know it always pissed me off that that card was worth a fortune and Profane Command wasn't worth beans, even though it was, you know, a pretty good card. This one looks pretty nuts, but it's only floating in around $2, so, you know, great. But it'll be fun to play with. It does cost 5, which is a little high for Modern, but, you know, if you go ramp, hey. But you're not ramping up to this card. This is just a nice, fun utility card. So pretty much yet another Commander card. But hey, whatever sells the set. So you choose 2 of the modes. Target player gains 7 life, always good. Put target non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. A little bit of a blue effect there, but it's not a creature, so okay. Target player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library, so that ruins all kinds of other people's decks and saves you from mill, so there you go. Or search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle, so you can run a 1 of. Fantastic. So that is just 4 completely dissimilar modes, all kinds of flexibility. I do like this card. I also love the artwork too. I think the main reason this isn't worth a ton is, well, 1, the 5 cost and the sorcery part, but also it was in a couple pre-built decks. I think it was like a dual deck or something like that. Next up, called it Path to Exile, currently sitting at approximately $10 a piece, which is just stupidly outrageous for a freaking uncommon, and thank God they kept it at uncommon. I honestly don't see this going below like $5 under any condition ever, no matter what. I mean, no matter how much they print, this just can only fall so far before people are like, oh cool, I need 16 copies of that. Oh wait, 17, I'm running it in a Commander deck. This is the white removal. I think it's complete and utter garbage because it gives the other person a land, but if you're playing a fast enough deck, you definitely should play this. If you're playing a slow deck, you just gave your opponent 3 extra turns worth of mana. I mean, because 1/3 of their deck is mana, here, have an extra land for the rest of the game. That's just stupid. So despite the fact that people misuse this card constantly, I do think it's good, obviously. I mean, there's barely any good 2-cost removal in mono white. To get to the really good Universal Exiles, you've got to go to 3. I'm sure I'm forgetting a card, though. I recall there being something pretty good for 2, but it was a little bit limited, like Devouring Light. A little bit narrow. So I absolutely knew that card would be in there. That is no secret right there whatsoever, but more money at a different rarity slot. I love it. Next up, Inquisition of Kozilek. Oh boy, could have sworn this was just printed, but yeah, another uncommon, worth quite a bit. Another hand disruption is converted mana cost 3 or less, but well, welcome to Modern. I think 100% of hand disruption should just be banned from Modern. It's just toxic garbage and I hate it. Not only does it let you see my entire hand, but now you can set me so far back I'll never recover. I mean, you're getting rid of something that's only a 4 of or worse, and I probably needed it unless you're a complete idiot and have no idea what I'm playing. Hand disruption like this has been the #1 complained about thing by the pros last time I heard a survey was taken. And I heard this from a reliable source. I mean, the #1 thing was getting land screwed, but I mean, something that they actually want removed from the game is hand disruption. So hopefully they pull the old print it then ban it like they did with Eye of Ugin. Might of Old Krosa is back. Hello, uncommon. This is worth it's kind of debatable. It's hard to pin this one down. It fluctuates a bit. I would say it's in the neighborhood of about $5, but it's been known to fluctuate like 3 to like 7 from what I've seen. It just depends on, light play versus near mint. That's the big decider. But anyway, this is an Infect card. I don't think we need to give people more reason to play Infect. They just need to ban Infect and get it over with. Everyone who doesn't play Infect absolutely despises it. It's basically like a ley line that says your opponent starts with 10 health. It's just idiotic. I absolutely hate it. Actually, I think it's 11. God, I haven't played against Infect in forever. The people at my LGS have actual standards. The problem is Modern is so broken they'd have to get rid of all the toxic, obnoxious, unplayable, aggravating garbage like Ad Nauseum, Living End, Lantern Control, just all that just piss you the hell off. You can't play Magic decks. Then they'd have to get rid of the solitaire decks like, I'll say Storm, that's a little bit interactive, and Affinity. And if you're saying, no, they shouldn't ban them, they're just fine. Well, that's funny because there's been at least 5 or 6 cards that were banned to weaken Affinity, 5 of them being the Artifact lands, and Storm has had at least like 3 or 4 cards banned just to weaken it. So I guess even Wizards of the Coast disagrees with you if you disagree with me. Shocker. The decks are toxic, they don't do anything, they went on turn 4, and everybody freaking hates them. Okay, Storm's usually past 4, but still, if it goes off, you lose, and it's just rock, paper, scissors. Oh look, I can sideboard my way out of it, I have 8 enchantment destruction, screw you. I mean, it's just boring, it's stupid. If you want to play rock, paper, scissors, play rock, paper, scissors. I want to play Magic. Thank God I haven't seen any other Infect cards in the set yet, so I hope that's the end of it. And honestly, that card's not just played in Infect. Next up, we've got the very overrated Terminate, also at uncommon. Fantastic. Very popular card. In fact, right now, price-wise... Ooh, I actually just looked it up now. It's actually only like $1.25 a piece. Did not see that coming. This doesn't do a damn thing to stop Kitchen Finks, so honestly... whatever. I mean, all it does is kill 1 creature for 2 as an instant, and it's 2 color. I think people really like hype this card up a little bit too much, but it's nice to have it in the set though, because it's just a dirt cheap kill spell. It's going to be at 2 color, virtually useless in, well, I'd say sealed, but they don't do pre-release. Draft, I think you could make it happen though, but you'd have to pull it awfully damn early. And unfortunately, this isn't really worth, modding your colors just to get this card. I mean, yeah, it's removal, but I mean, it's not that great. It's not Bile Blight. Now, unfortunately, a lot of useless cards in the uncommon slot for draft. There is a ton, an absolute boatload of 3-color cards. Little hard to pull off, and almost none of them are worth changing your colors for. So you gotta rely on luck to pull these and already be casting those colors. I haven't seen any universal color fixers either yet. It's all just been 3-color and 2-color lands. Well, good luck getting those to match up. I mean, the probability is insane. Now, luckily, some serious shutdown cards were printed in the set so far. Graph Digger's Cage only costs 1. It's an artifact. It's at the rare slot. Creature cards can't enter the battlefield from graveyards or libraries. Players can't cast cards in graveyards or libraries, or as I like to call it, the way the rules of the damn game should have been in the first place. I mean, just think of how much broken garbage this prevents for 1 mana. Oh my gosh, this should be in every sideboard everywhere all the time. Now, the last one I want to hit on is Ranger of Eos because he's pretty interesting. I mean, it's not that common to see a 4-cost in Modern, but if it does something really good, guess what? You throw in a little bit of ramp and some control to stall out, like Path. I mean, it's white, hello. And there you go, Ranger of Eos. So when he enters the battlefield, he is a 3/2 for 4, but you may search your library for up to 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 1 or less, reveal them, and put them into your hand. And then if you do, shuffle your library. So, you could go grab like 2 Ornithopters or something really weird like that. I've only ever seen somebody play this card once, and they went and got some kind of combo. I don't remember if it was like a human or like some kind of tribal or something. I don't quite remember, but it was something like really broken. I'm going to take a wild guess that I'm remembering it correctly, that he does something kind of broken, because these things are like flirting with $10 a card. So yeah, so at least we got a little bit more money in the rare slot, even though I don't love this card. But on the broken scale, just in Modern relative to other cards, 2 out of 10 tops, okay? So, I mean, I'm annoyed by a whole bunch of cards in Modern, but this one's pretty low on my list. Like, Inquisition of Kozilek is a 10 out of 10. That card can go straight to hell. So there are some other cool cards printed. Either I don't think they're worth mentioning, or I'm just not familiar with them, or usually both. So take a look at the list yourself. I like mythicspoiler.com. Don't add the S, it's a spam site. And so far, keep in mind, we only have 49 out of 249 cards spoiled. Pretty wild. I do wonder if they're showing the most expensive ones first to recover the whole, oh, liquidate it, sell it all for 180 thing. Maybe. I mean, I tend to think that they plan these out ahead of time, but they could change them at the last second if management says so. So, I don't know. We might see just nothing but complete and utter crap in the remaining 200 cards. Who knows? It's a little bit too early to do the box EV, but I will have that out the second it is available. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next video.